Hi there, Shania. I'm a senior at UVM and I minor in ASL studies. For the last 4 years, I've been taking ASL classes and I've learned a lot. Sign, sentence structure, deaf community, and a lot more. Before taking deaf culture this semester, I thought to myself, what else do I need to know about ASL? Albeit during the breaks I would forget about ASL history and some signs, but once I came back to my classes, I would feel great in my ability to sign and know ASL history. However, ASL and deaf culture are not the same. I may know some signs and a bit about the history, but what do I know about people who are deaf, who identify as deaf? What do I know about people who use sign language for their daily lives? This semester has been about me knowing signs and self-reflecting on what do I know. As a hearing person, how much do I help the deaf community? How much do I check my own privilege as a hearing person? What else do I still need to know about deaf culture and the deaf community? Thankfully, this class has helped a lot. I may not be an expert on deaf culture and know a lot of signs, but this class has enlightened me on the complexity and the many spectrums in the deaf community. What have I learned about ASL and deaf culture? I've reflected on a few things this semester. Some patterns I have found in my reflective journals were: 1. The injustice and mistreatment that many people in the deaf community has gone through has been atrocious. Deaf culture was not fully researched and recognized until 1980. For centuries, men and women in the community would sign, and they would not be represented or recognized from their society, community, or government. There are many accounts of Alexander Graham Bell's forceful impact on the deaf community. Bell's creation of the telephone was seen by hearing people as a revolutionary invention. But for deaf people, it was a sign that hearing was seen as something to be enhanced. I believe that the idea of not accepting deafness brought about autism. Autism is a discrimination towards people who are deaf. Autism exists in schools, work, daily life, and in the government. Western autist orientation states that, quote, language is human. Speech is language, therefore deaf people are inhuman and deafness is a problem, end quote. This is from the slides on autism from class. It is still taking a lot of people to understand the thought and research of deafness. Deafness is not a disorder or a disease, and the community is not inferior. This understanding is going to take a lot of time. I also notice how I relate my experiences of being a minority to deaf people who are also a minority. When talking about the culture, I notice similarities in my culture of being Black and deaf culture. The 5 hallmarks of culture was a great lesson on how I can relate, especially learning about heritage and customs. It's easy to look at a small group of people who you are not familiar with and take little anecdotes of the people and see them in a monolithic way. But that's not how you gather information on a culture. They have different subgroups and customs within that are important to the community. Deaf culture is very rich. Lastly, I notice that hearing dominates my life. I notice how my classes are based off of hearing. The same at the store, at home, in institutions, and daily life. Hearing is interwoven in our society. There has to be an understanding of deaf culture and how deaf people are being hindered by a hearing society. I gather these thoughts by mainly articles and discussions from class. Reading about deaf literature, discrimination, and culture was fascinating this semester. The book we read, Deaf in America, had mainly anecdotes and ideas about deaf culture and its complexities. One notable story was the origin tale of sign language. Ebede Epe finds 2 girls in a house. As he enters the home, the 2 girls didn't respond to his voice. He noticed that they are deaf, and from that point on, he decided to educate deaf children. Although the story is fabricated, hearing the actual story of Ebe de Ebe was important because it gives history and context of how sign language grew around the world. Another story was Joshua Davis. When he was hunting on his parents' plantation, a Civil War soldier was shouting at him. As he signed to them that he was deaf, they could not understand, so they tried to hang him. It wasn't until another officer came by and fingerspelled to Joshua. He ordered that he would be let go, and they let him go. Although this is an example from a long time ago, it's still a relevant example of the knowledge of sign and deaf people not extending to hearing cultures. English and other verbal languages are universally understood. Why can't ASL? It also brings to light the discrimination that many deaf people face because they are deaf. In hearing culture, not speaking or not talking back is seen as defiance. I thought of that while reading it, and it was interesting. When I was talking to someone, or any stranger, and they are not talking back, I shouldn't assume that they are being defiant. Perhaps they can't hear me. The other story that shifted my thinking was the deaf educator and the deaf bartender. The deaf bartender noticed that the deaf educator spoke with influence of the deaf language. He criticized him for not being authentic enough in the deaf community, while the deaf educator accused the bartender of not being as educated. This goes back to my thinking of the deaf community and it being versatile and being very different within the community. Just because I know a few people who are deaf doesn't mean that I should think everyone who I encounter who is deaf acts like them. They can have variations and differences. They can be deaf and share another prominent identity. There can be subcultures of the deaf community. We watched a video on intersectionality by Stephanie Johnson. She identifies as queer, black, deaf, and a woman. She talks about not having one identity empower another, as she lives through the world as all four. Although her blackness and womanhood is the most prominent of her character, she still, in spaces of blackness and deaf, feel all her identities merge as one. Another subculture great to learn about was ASL schooling. We read about a kid whose mother would not explain why, but had to drop him off at a deaf school. He felt nervous and didn't know why he was there. There's also the reading Diconscious Autism, where we learn the hypocrisy of deaf children and students being integrated into mainstream or predominantly hearing schools. However, many people make decisions to have deaf people in their schools and have curriculum on the ability to hear. I will never understand the effects of going to a predominantly hearing school and being deaf, or going from my family to a deaf school. And thinking about it can be daunting. It put my privilege of hearing in perspective, because I didn't have to worry about where I wanted to go and if it was hearing. It was great to learn these perspectives and stories and know more about the culture. However, the question is, what will I do with the knowledge and how can I expand on it? Well, one thing I will do is find more examples of deaf literature. I had the privilege of taking a deaf class last semester, and it was great to hear about deaf poems, stories, humors, and varying sentence structures. This is my favorite topic, deaf literature, in ASL. And I'm going to make more of an effort to find deaf literature and sign videos online. I will also show my friends new videos that showcase deaf culture, like Stephanie Johnson and Deaf U on Netflix. And remember to check my hearing privilege. I will also analyze my hearing and how I show up in hearing spaces. I will not assume that everyone is hearing, and this will make me a better ally. To be a better ally, I will advocate for deaf accessibility in hearing spaces by asking if the event has ASL interpreters. If not, then I will ask them to inform the audience that this is not a deaf accessible event and hopefully work with them to make future events more accessible to the deaf community. I will shut down jokes about the deaf community, in my social settings, or around me. Being deaf is not a joke and should be celebrated, and I will make sure my efforts to not have autism or ASL discrimination around me or in my community. Last but not least, I will remember and learn the history of ASL. It is an American history, and it's important to know and discuss on. This has been a great class to take this semester, and a good metaphor that I use to describe going through the semester is like a light. From the beginning of the semester, I assumed that my light was bright, but learning all of these different ideas and learning about deaf culture, I realized that my light isn't as knowledgeable or as bright as I assumed it would be. Going through the semester, however, my light would brighten because I would learn new things. And I'm hoping that my light continues to be bright and shine more throughout my life as I learn more about ASL and ASL culture and the community. Thank you.